Hello. On today's show, we're going to talk about the Loki season finale. Mike's got a bunch of stuff to show us and talk about, as well as Pat. And then also, lastly, what's going on with Pokemon? Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. As usual, I am your fourth or fifth favorite podcasting host, Kevin. And we're a little short-staffed today, but it'll do. Up first, Pat. Hello.
Hello. I was already unmuted for some reason, just coughing away at this tightly run season premiere. So sorry to all the millions of viewers out there. Good morning.
Good morning. And then, of course, everybody else already saw that Mike was here because as Pat was, his mic was on prematurely. Mike's video was on prematurely. So what's up, Mike?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I never turned my video off.
You didn't. Like Pat said, this is a perfect season 4 premiere. Train wreck right out of the gate. But you know, hopefully it works the opposite way. We got all the mistakes out at the beginning, so the rest of this is going to be smooth sailing, right?
Yeah, it was funny. Just before you started the show, Patrick said, "Hey, do you need a tease?" You're like, "Yep, all right." Click, and it started a countdown. And then I'm like, "Oh, maybe he's going to wing this." Mike has a bunch of stuff, and Kevin has some, or Patrick has some things, and
that's exactly what I said. I was like,
yeah,
we're running so late for the season 4 premiere. Mike has to leave early today. I got a bunch of stuff I want to show that I want Mike involved in. So I was just like, let's just go. We're out of here. And you know, that smooth intro paid the price. So anyway. Okay, so first up, Mike, this is for everybody. But you're involved in that everybody else with this one, Mike. Let's start off our season 4 premiere with the big surprise that I've been teasing the last couple weeks that even Mike was like, what big surprise? I have no idea what's going on. And, you know, since we all have, well, I shouldn't say we all, I'm the biggest culprit with the poor memories. Some viewers may have assumed that Mike was just forgetting, but the fact was that me and Pat had a secret.
No, I remembered.
Wait, you remember what? You remembered what?
Yeah, I remember. You two were scheming on something.
Okay. Are you excited about this scheming thing?
Yeah, I thought it was the video.
What video? The video that I couldn't upload?
Yeah.
That is one secret, but we'll get to that later. I'm hoping by the end of the show that'll upload because I've actually got a ticket into tech support. I'm actually in line in tech support during the show. That should be fun for me to try to multitask as well. But anyway, no, there's another secret, Mike.
Okay.
Which I'll just rip this off like a Band-Aid and then we'll talk about it. Are you excited for this, Mike?
Yeah, I'm excited and nervous.
Excited for the mystery? Oh, crap. That's not it.
Not gonna work.
There it is. Okay. All right, here we go. It's coming. It's coming. It is. I swear. It's coming. Boom.
Oh, that is cool.
There is the new and improved XcellarComics logo. I was getting
In
a little
full
tired
color.
of the. Say it again, Mike. Sorry.
In full color.
In full color.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys were or not, but I was getting a little tired of the black and white. And, there was some red in there, but essentially it was black and white, especially when a lot of the places you look for XcellarComics, the face of Exceller is just what you see, which is all black and white without the words Exceller, So just to kind of lay this out, obviously it's just a color logo, but then to explain my thought process a little farther, which, everybody loves to hear my thought process on these kind of things. Mike and I are the quote unquote creators of XcellarComics way back in the early 90s, right, Mike?
The logo and all that.
Yeah.
The name I think was the 80s, but the logo and when we actually
Okay, so we came with the name in the 80s, the logo, which just was XcellarComics in the 90s, and then we got Johnny involved to create the Exceller bust, and I loved how our logo personified, kind of the creators and the people behind XcellarComics. So then I got to thinking, obviously Patrick is such a huge part of XcellarComics for such a long time now. He needs to be like, that needs to be reflected somewhere. So
he needed to put his spin on it.
Exactly. So I figured what better way than to colorize the XcellarComics logo. And of course, I don't think anybody would debate the fact that Pat is the most gifted with this kind of thing as well. Right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
So I asked Pat if he'd be interested. Of course, he took up the challenge, and this is what we got. And yeah, it's totally amazing to me. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. The more I look at it, the more I love it. It looks so great.
Yeah, and I will say there are a couple versions which, I definitely will get your input on it. They're all really similar to this. There's just a little couple tweaks that you could have some input on, Mike, if you maybe you might like another one. But in general, this is going to be the new Exceller logo. Even with the tweaks, it looks extremely similar to this. So there you go.
I like it.
How about that? Nice. I didn't want to make any changes anywhere, on the website or anything with it until you saw it, Mike, of course, because, I was hoping you'd dig it. So,
yeah.
There you go. Then I've got another thing that I'll just put this up real quick. This is just going to be on the website. But I wanted you to see it first, Mike. Are you sitting down? This is going to be great. Are you sitting down?
Yeah. I'm sitting down.
All right, cool. I couldn't see my screen for a minute when I was saying that, so I didn't know if you stood up all of a sudden. Here you go. You ready?
Yeah.
Let me do this again. Here we go. The new XcellarComics group photo.
Oh, it's fantastic. Jeez. Well done, Pat. Well done.
Which, of course, our beloved Johnny has requested that he doesn't, he isn't seen anywhere. So we were still able to put up this awesome group photo with Megatron kind of standing in for Johnny. It's great.
I want a robot head now.
We need to have some kind of Power Rangers like transformate, like what do the Power Rangers say when they change? I forget.
I don't know. That's a kid's show. I never watched it.
Whatever. Pat, what do the Power Rangers say?
I have no idea. Transform. I don't know.
And where's Tyler when we need him? Hey, Karen. Karen's chiming in that she loves that photo too. Karen, were you talking about the photo or the logo or both? Hopefully. Dadgummit. Something power activate. That's what it is.
That's Wonder Twin powers activate.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, it would be great. Just putting more work on Pat. It's like, Pat, create robot heads for every single one of us. And then we can have some kind of transfer. That'd be funny. That'd be fun. So anyway. All right. That's a couple little surprises to start. I've got a couple more surprises in store for this season 4 premiere. Thank you for Karen's congratulating us on season 4 as well. Thank you, Karen. And also too, in this season 4 premiere, we're going to change things up because like I think I said already, Mike's got to leave early. So we're going to do what Kevin watched later. And what's going on with Pokemon is going to happen in this episode. Michael is going to step in sometime soon, hopefully. And we'll get that segment in. So let's just pretend like we're skipping what Kevin watched, moving right into a very special pick 3, right, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we ready for the very special pick 3?
Yep. Before we start that,
so you meant no.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, happy Veterans Day. Yeah, thank you to all the veterans and their families.
Yep. I always can't forget the families.
Can't forget the families because they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, supporting the veterans, so the veterans can do what they do for the rest of us, right?
Right.
I got a couple of them close to home. Mike is a veteran. Thank you, Mike.
Yep, as are you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely proud.
And your boys.
Yeah, and the boys. Yeah, so that's awesome, Mike. Yeah, happy Veterans Day to everyone out there. All right, now we're ready for some serious stuff. No, I'm just kidding. That's the serious stuff. Good job, Mike. It's morphin' time. I think Karen might have nailed it. I'm gonna have to watch Power Rangers as soon as this episode's over and figure that out. Stay tuned next episode. Anyway, until then, Karen's chiming out. Happy Veterans Day. All right, now you ready, Mike?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. All right, Mike. This one's very. Why is this one very? Actually, take that down for 1 second.
Oh yeah, Michael's here.
Hello, Michael.
He's muted.
It doesn't say your mic is muted, but we can't hear you. This is perfect. I mean, seriously. Mike, you're just
par for the course.
You're just adding on to the fun of how smooth this show is. Everyone that's checking us out right now is like, while these guys are in season 4, they must be good. I'm going to check out the season premiere.
Mm-hmm. Got to put subtitles on for Michael.
All right, Mike, no problem. Yeah, you figure that out. We're going to go to the first segment. All right, Mike, put it back up. Put it back up. There you go. All right.
All right, cool. So I'm getting some crazy feedback. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Kevin's muted.
I intentionally muted myself.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. What's so great about this week's pick 3 is I didn't do all 10 covers. Kevin and Patrick each submitted 3 covers, and then I submitted 4. So this is a group effort on this one.
Very nice.
So we'll run down one, and then once it's all over, if you guys want, I'll announce which ones were yours and all that good stuff.
All right.
All right, so we'll start off with Operation Sunshine number 2, David Rubin, and then Philadelphia 31, Francisco Matina. Did I put that in right? Yeah. Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos number 2, Ryan Brown. World's Finest Teen Titans number 5, Chris Samney. Batman and Robin number 3, K.L. New. Detective Comics 1077, Jason Sean Alexander. Fire and Ice number 2, Joseph Michael Linsner. Ghost Rider 20, Bjorn Barons. Red Goblin 10, Inyuk Lee. And Fire and Ice number 2, Leonardo Manco. So we got 2 Fire and Ices on there.
Yeah, that was funny how that happened. I've got one question for Pat first.
Yes,
Did you vote for your own 3 covers?
I did.
So did I.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
Mike, it was
thinking-
the easiest pick 3 ever.
Right. I was thinking for a minute, and I actually sent my votes to Mike late because I never mentioned that were my picks, that he might not. Well, he shouldn't just assume that. You guys could have submitted one that maybe I glossed over and didn't appreciate until I saw you submit it, but that was not the case. I still picked my 3. So anyway.
Yeah. I was looking to see. I can't remember. I was like, did I vote for one that you guys put up?
Well, that's what I was going to ask too, Mike. You know, since we submitted ours, you were waiting to submit yours after us to give us first dibs on some covers because this is a special episode, right? So
Yeah.
So were any of the ones we submitted one of your pick 3?
Yes. One.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. So I had other ones that I had Space Truckers number 1, Fantastic Four number 14, Rocketeer number 4, and Alien number 1.
Wow. Okay.
So I took all of those off, and then you guys started submitting.
That's interesting.
Which Rocketeer cover was it?
I think it was the A cover.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
help me out a
remember.
little bit. Is it the Nazi Rocketeer?
You know what? I still have it in my phone. I completely forgot which one it was now.
I almost submitted the Alien number 1, but I decided, man, I think I might have had enough Alien in comics. I haven't had enough aliens in movies, but maybe in comics because it's kind of the same old.
Oh, yeah, I deleted it so I didn't accidentally post it. Yeah, I can't remember now. Many days ago.
I just envisioned comments coming in after me making that comment of everyone saying everything's the same old, same old. That's a stupid logic, but whatever. I don't know why I'm feeling that way with Alien right now. Anyway.
Yeah, they just keep running. They keep rebooting it. I guess they're just doing those short 11 or 12 issues and then starting over again.
Yeah.
Whatever. So the good news is every single cover received votes.
Nice.
So
wait,
love across the board.
The question is, did me and Pat's covers get a second vote? Because if they only got 1 vote, it was just us voting for ourselves.
Well, there is one cover that only received 1 vote.
Of me and Pat's? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Pat. I'm sure it had to be you. It had to be you, Pat. It couldn't have been me.
Nah, I'm guessing it was me.
No, don't do that. See, here I am jabbing at you, and you're all like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Now you make me feel bad. I was just kidding. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get to third place. Actually, there was a cover that I had that I removed that one of you 2 submitted, and then there was another one of mine that I didn't remove that one of you submitted. So it was kind of a double. And that one came in third place.
All right.
So here we go. In third place this week, we have Cap Wolf and audience gets me every time. Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos number 2, Ryan Brown.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the Gary Frank cover, which I really like, is I think it's a 1 in 25, and I don't put those up, but it's really great because it has him standing there and each, it's like him as Captain America here, and then behind him he's turning into the werewolf, and it's really great.
This is a sick, yeah. That's definitely a cool one too. Yeah, this is a sick cover though. I love this cover. This is one of mine. Can I say that yet? Did I just let the cat out of the bag? Should I have waited?
No, this is one that I already had on my list. So this one's actually mine.
Okay. Wait, what? No.
So
no,
mine trumps yours.
Okay. Well,
because you had submitted so many more.
Sorry, go ahead. Say it again.
You had submitted 5, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep the Cap Wolf on there, and then use one of your other ones to get more on there.
Oh wait, so this literally isn't one that I submitted technically.
Right.
Oh crap, you're right. Okay, so good job, Mike. Dadgummit. This is one I
you
tried,
did,
but I submitted 5,
to.
so you left that one off because you had already submitted this one. Gotcha. I'm tracking now. Okay. I thought you were messing with me, but you're being serious. Got it. Okay.
Fine. Yeah. But there is one of yours that did make it through because I had already removed it from my 10 when we talked.
Okay.
To make things.
I just want to say this too. You know how I was talking in Cover Combat about reasons people vote for covers? This is the one I was referencing. I think this is epic. And Ayla can appreciate it for being great art, but she was like, I am not voting for some creepy werewolf Captain America. She's like, that is way too creepy. So a creepiness factor is also a reason someone will not vote on a cover, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Next up, we have in second place, we got World's Finest Teen Titans number 5.
What was that, Mike?
I can't hear the clapping until it's already halfway through it. So when I'm talking, it's already going. I don't know it. It's Batman and Robin, or I'm sorry, World's Finest Teen Titans 5 from Chris Samney.
Which is a Batman and Robin cover. So good, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And on my list, they're listed right by each other.
Gotcha. That is a great cover. I didn't vote for this one though. Did you vote for this one, Pat?
I not only voted for this cover, I picked this cover.
Congratulations. Hold on a second. Hold the whatever that saying is. Hold the phone.
Hold the bat phone.
So you're telling me right now, Mike, actually, you already said it because Capwolf wasn't mine. You said one of mine made it. So we all had one of all 3 of our submissions in the top 3?
Well, no. Did I say yours made it?
Yes, you did. Didn't he just say that, Pat?
I don't know. I'm so confused.
Yeah. Let's never do this again.
Come on. Dadgummit. Okay.
Well, technically one of yours could have made it because Cap Wolf was submitted by you, but then not.
You guys can share that one.
I'm double checking this right now. Go ahead.
Next time, Kevin, only submit 3 until Mike tells you he needs more. Then
That's
right.
Exactly.
Because Okay.
All right, you ready for this one?
Real quick on this World's Finest. World's Finest and Cap Wolf actually tied, so I had to call in the help of my brother. And like you were saying, Kevin, the reason people vote for covers differ. They differ so much. He picked this one, so this got the tiebreaker because he used to watch the Teen Titans stuff with his daughters. So he's got that emotion. So that's the whole reason that Teen Titans got the nod for that one. So people vote for things for different reasons.
Love it.
I'll just go ahead and throw this out here. This ties in nicely because Chris Samney did Battober, where he did a different Batman illustration each day of October. Go to his Instagram. They're all so cool. And this just fit perfect because it was another Batman and Robin cover. So
he did covers, or just he did like a drawing each day.
yeah, just little. No, I wouldn't say little. Some are pretty involved. Just a different drawing every single day of October 31, and he's currently auctioning them off and becoming a rich man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love his style. As I know Patrick's a big fan of his too.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get to it. First place.
Right. Let's get to it.
All right, here we go. Coming in with the most votes. Now I can say Batman.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Half of your family voted for it.
No, I love that cover too.
Yeah.
I actually had the Lee Bermejo cover on my short list. Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
I like that one better myself.
Yeah, I had that one initially, and then when I looked at the variants, I thought, oh, this one actually looks kind of cool. I just like the motion and the movement in this one.
And we know you like the illusion of speed on the cover, Mike.
Yeah.
You've gone over that in the past, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this isn't as exciting as I thought, but it's still awesome. Congratulations, Pat, for getting a top 3 cover in there. This is what I will say, Pat. This is in my defense. Okay, Mike's over there. Okay, Pat, between me and you. Okay,
Yeah.
My text to him was Capwolf, Fire and Ice, Ghost Rider, Red Goblin, and the Haunted Girl. And my following text from that is in that order in case I had dupes. That's why I figured I'd send 5. So Capwolf was my number 1 submission. But then Mike, because he knew Capwolf would finish in the top 3 and he wanted to edge me out, he said, okay, cool. Fire and Ice, Ghost Rider, Red Goblin, you're in. So I was like, Capwolf first. That's my first choice. He's like, no, screw that one. Here's what you pick. And he gave me my of my 5, he gave me the 3 in the middle. He dropped off number 1 and number 5. Which is fine. Although, I only put in Haunted Girl because I figured that would appeal to more artistic, kind of folk, which you don't have it in here, Mike. But didn't you love that Haunted Girl cover?
I don't remember it now.
It had the ghost coming down on the girl, and it was real kind of, kind of watercolory or something. I don't know. I don't know how to say artistic words.
Yeah.
But this is a great cover, definitely. So.
All right. Well, I get all the winning money then.
Okay, right. You get first and third place money. Pat gets second place money. Congratulations to both of you. Let's do this again next season.
Okay.
I'm officially taking it as a competition, and I want all 3 of my covers to make it in the top 3. So, all right, but seriously, that was fun. Changing it up sometimes fun like that. So, I can't. Did you suggest that, Mike? That was a good suggestion. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was fun, right, Pat?
Yeah, I think it was stemming out of the fact that Mike has such a tough job weeding through all those covers. And boy, there's a lot of weeding to be done. I had a hard time picking 5, to give to Mike. So
now you see why some of the covers actually make it. Some weeks you're just like, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
612 covers to choose from. And you think, oh, that's easy. I can pick 10 out of 612. Yeah, it's hard.
And there's also the factor, you've mentioned this in the past before. I even made the mistake because one of my 5 covers I didn't notice until I was almost ready to narrow them down. One was a variant, and I was like, well, I got to take that one off the list. There's a lot of the ratios and things out there that I would have put in, but I kept checking them off the list. I can't put that in.
Yep.
Yeah. that's kind of what I chiming in this the same thing basically, but just saying it a little different. I definitely learned a new appreciation for what Mike does with going through all those. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more of a chore than I thought, especially when League of Comic Geeks, which is what I was using based on your recommendation, Mike. Every time I'd make a cover big and then shrink it again, it would go back to the beginning. So you had to scroll down. At least that's what my computer did. I don't know what that.
Yeah.
No, he warned us of that fact.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So what
That's
you
why
do
a lot
is
of times. Go ahead.
when I'm on, I was on my computer, so I made sure to open the cover in a new window. I saw one that I liked, and I would have all my choices up there, and I could just go through them that way. But
Genius.
Yeah, that's smart.
Genius. Yeah.
Yeah. There were times where I would pick one for the 10, and then I'm going to get them in my phone, and I make it larger, and I was like, oh man, really? It's not as
It
cool as what
only
it
it not
looks
only
like.
resets you back to the choices, but it takes away your filters as well. Like
it changes back to the base date. Yeah, we're trying to go to the next date.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know it's annoying. Yeah. But so yeah, it was a fun learning experience for us as well, Mike. We appreciate you even more now. So
Perfect.
you're amazing.
Yeah.
All right, but that was good though. So all right. So then we're moving into I feel so empty without what Kevin watched starting the show. Now we're moving into some reviews. Right, Mike, and you're up first, so we can get yours done before you have to say goodbye, right?
Yep, I did read one real quickly.
All right, cool.
My review will be kind of quick since I didn't take notes. And I'm using the variant cover because the A cover is a little
great review, Mike.
Mike,
your brief synopsis.
What are you doing? Mike, you're muted.
Boy.
Hold on.
Oh,
You're
man.
Back. Hold on. It was still playing.
Oh, he's still watching the intro.
I was. You said, are you ready? I'm like, yep. So I started talking, and I guess you had started playing the intro, which I forgot about because first time I'm doing this show. I'm just talking away, and then the intro comes up.
Yeah, we came back from the intro with you talking on mute with your book up. That's what we saw.
And then it stops, and then the intro starts again on my end.
That's so crazy.
I'm gonna have to sit closer to the router or something.
We just need to get a studio in the same room, be like the comic book men. We're all sitting around a table all the time.
Right. Yeah. All right.
All right. What's your review now, Mike?
As I was saying. Let's see. So I read Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Okay. I didn't only have the writers or anybody down here. Horvath Ostamain Eluha. I can't even say the last name. Anyway, basically, this is kind of a serial killer story, and you've got a this really small town, and this bear you can see on the cover. She works and owns a hardware store, and they're getting ready for their 200th, the town's 200th birthday. So they're having a big parade with floats and everything like that. So everybody's coming in to her hardware store. Very friendly town, small town. And then, but this bear has a little secret, and she ends up hopping in her truck, and she goes to the big city where she murders somebody in the city, and she does it in the city so she doesn't draw any attention. In the small town, it's all anybody would talk about for years. Go to the big city, happens all the time. Nobody bats an eye. So she does that, and then she comes back to the town. The next day, they have the big parade, and there's some floats going on, and one of the something breaks, and the mast off this pirate ship float falls down, and there's one of the townsfolk has been murdered and is up there. So now she's like, great, someone in town is doing just what I don't do in town. So now she's afraid that eyes are all going to be on the town, and they're going to inadvertently stumble across what she's been doing as they start investigating everybody. So that's it.
Sounds sort of Dexter-ish.
I never
He was
watched
always
that.
worried about that. Yeah. This is crazy because I had my screen minimized and I'm like, oh, beneath the trees. I couldn't really see the cover that well. Then you go into this is about a serial killer. I'm like, what? This is like a cute little. And then I see the red hands and all the skulls, and then I see the design, the scroll work around the edge of the cover, and there's a knife and there's a hammer, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, it's definitely not a book for kids, but it is a really good book. This is a get it for me. That's the interior artwork. The work or the artwork, it works. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like the color palette, but it'll do.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, but it's definitely a get it. I think they're probably going to reprint it if they haven't announced it already, because I think the combined A and B sets are going for 20 to 30. The single A covers, could be 15 to 20. I'm not real sure if people are just kind of speculating on it or not, and kind of holding some, so it's difficult to find. But definitely pick it up if you find it cheap, or wait for the second printing.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's what I got.
Yeah, I noticed that there was an announcement that IDW has closed their San Diego offices. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I think they were saying they're trying to. Everybody knows they're losing money for years, but they're trying to kind of paint a more rosy picture, saying that they're going to work remotely and just trying to downsize and save some money there. But I don't know, things haven't been looking real good for them. It's a lot of IPs, with Transformers and all that. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
All right. So I'm back on the She-Hulk train. I read a lot of stuff, but I wasn't sure what to review, since our last get together. So I decided to just go ahead and I got this yesterday, and it was another quick read. Sensational She-Hulk 1 by Rainbow Rowell and Andres Genolet. If you remember, he was sort of the artist that came on late in the last run. And side note, they mentioned in the letters page, why are we rebooting now? And their excuse was because they thought that the series was, it was doing good, but not getting enough eyes on it. So they figured a reboot was necessary. I don't agree. This could have just easily been issue 17 or 16 or whatever it was of the first series, because it just continues on. More of She-Hulk's relationship with Jack of Hearts, and she gets some new clients and some Eternals that have been booted out of the Eternals. It's kind of funny stuff. And we also get some shenanigans with She-Hulk's Fight Club with Titania and Absorbing Man in the Thing and stuff like that. There was actually nothing really new plot wise in this book. There was like no new real thread being pulled up here, except for maybe her Eternals clients. In fact, they even have a backup story in this premiere issue. It's like, why? I just don't think it was very thought out very well. Make your new first issue a full length story. The backup story is by Jessica Gao, who was the TV writer on the She-Hulk Disney Plus series, and it's okay. I thought the art was weak. The art was by David Cutler, and he didn't really serve the story too well, because there was a lot of fourth wall breaking, and it wasn't reflected clearly enough in the art, I thought. So the art kind of failed the story, but there wasn't that much of a story. It was about She-Hulk getting an intern and mistaking a lawyer, an intern for a lawyer versus an intern for a superhero, which doesn't even make any sense. Why would she have an intern to be a superhero? But whatever. Just ignore that story. The main story, however brief it was, by Rainbow Rowell and Andres Genolet, very solid. But more of the same. So to get it, especially if you've been on board for the rest of the series, it's funny too because Mike from New York kind of put me on this other guy's YouTube channel on the radar for me, and they go over like trade paperbacks and hardbacks and things like that. And there's a collection of Rainbow Rowell's last half of the run, and they brought up sort of this thing that I brought up last time when I was doing the review of the last half of the series about how this would appeal to manga fans. And one of the people in the video said, yeah, this is the most manga title Marvel's publishing right now. And I'm glad other people kind of see that connection too, because that's really what it reminds me of. But if that's not your thing, I can totally understand it. The other book, tried to make these two quick ones. The other book I read was I was getting back on the Amazing Spider-Man train. This is number 31, Legacy 925. And just a short little brief aside on this book too. This is the fourth double-sized, triple-sized issue they've done in this brief 31 issue run. Number 1 was $6. Number 6/900 was $10. Number 25 was $7. And this issue was another $10 book.
Jeez.
So really sticking it to the Amazing Spider-Man fans out there.
And they're putting the 2 out a month too, right?
Yeah, I think it does come out twice a month.
So man,
which is down from the the end of the last run, the Nick Spencer run was up to 4 issues a month. So I guess you can't complain, although I will.
No, you can. I will. That's literally why I tell Troy every time I go in there. I gave up. He keeps putting Spider-Man in my box. I keep handing it right back to him, saying, dude, I told you I gave up on Spider-Man trying to afford him. Spider-Man's too bougie, I guess, right now. I don't know.
And, this is one of the books, Mike's commented, I think, on just the Exceller group, where this is one of the books, not all of the books, but this is one of the books that's gone up from $4.99 or $3.99 to $4.99. Yeah. So it's a $5 book now.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, I think by January, I think most of Marvel's books are gonna be $4.99.
Yeah.
Are you still getting Spider-Man, Mike?
I am. I'm getting the Disney 100 covers as well to put that set together, but I keep wanting to drop it, and I'm like, man, the storyline looks so great, but then they're starting this gang war crossover, and it's going to go into other books, so that might be a good point for me to bail.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marvel.
We'll start to mention the gang war in this mini review here. So like this is number 31 by Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. plus Marcio Menez. They kind of share the duties because the book's kind of split up, and there's also probably 5 or 6 backup stories in this book to pad out the $10 asking price. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are so. Basically, a lot of the backup stories are sort of foreshadowing future plot lines, like the gang war, like the Craven Hunter storyline, things like that. But this is the wedding issue of Robbie Robertson, Peter Parker's longtime friend, roommate, and Janice Lincoln, who, if you didn't know, is Tombstone's daughter and the new Beetle. Basically starts out with Tombstone threatening all the other crime bosses of New York City to be at the wedding and behave because he wants a nice wedding for his daughter. And the lamest thing in this little section is that he tells them, be on your best behavior, and by the way, also make sure you know the electric slide. I hated that line. Then we
characters just shouldn't be funny at all.
Yes, exactly. we want this humor from Spider-Man. We don't want it from Tombstone.
Right.
Threatening crime bosses of New York City.
Right.
So then we move into the bachelorette and bachelor party section of the book. The bachelorette section is, in my opinion, horribly written. It's very cliched and corny. The bachelor side of it is decent. We get a lot of heart-to-heart between Robbie and Peter. And also coming out of this, we get, which this boggles my mind. You know, rewinding a little bit, I've been sort of a Zeb Wells defender. I think a lot of people didn't like the choices he made, but I still thought the writing was good. He split up Peter and Mary Jane again, and sort of pushed Black Cat and Peter together. But guess what? In this issue, Black Cat breaks up with Peter. I don't understand.
Why so much effort to get to that point?
It's like we were pushing Mary Jane out, bringing Black Cat in, and forget it. We're going to get Black Cat out of the picture too. She basically realized through Janice, the Beetle and Robbie, that Robbie's a good guy. Janice is a super villain as the Beetle, but they have this relationship. Black Cat's asking Janice, or Janice is telling Black Cat that Robbie's always trying to get her to be a better person, give up the life of the Beetle and a villain. And she's wondering why Peter doesn't ever do that for her, give up her life of crime. So that's her reasoning for breaking up with Peter Parker.
Because he won't boss her around?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, then we get to the wedding. So I should say the bachelor and bachelorette parties were drawn by the Marcio Menez. He was all right. I don't think I was familiar with his work before. It was nothing special, but nothing's great either. Then we move back into the wedding portion by John Romita Jr. And of course, no wedding ever goes off without a hitch in the Marvel Universe. It's interrupted by Shotgun. If you remember him, he was an old, I think, Punisher villain. He basically takes out Tombstone, shoots him, and right before they're getting ready to say their vows, and interrupts the wedding. And this all leads to there's Hammerhead's involved, Madame Mask is involved. Kingpin's out of the problem is Kingpin was out of the picture because of the Daredevil thing and him being mayor. So of course this is leading to a gang war, which I started thinking, this is like sort of the plot formula for Amazing Spider-Man throughout the decades. If you've been a long time reader, it's like every 5 years we have to have a gang war, then we have to have a Spider-Verse, then we have to have it's like the same. Mm-hmm. We had our clone storyline a couple years ago again. It's like they have to revisit all these things over and over again.
The moneymakers.
And gets a little, I guess so. So the main story, the wedding part of the story leading into the gang war, I'll give it a get it. And also for some of the backup stories, I get it. I keep saying get up. Anyway, the backups, Dan Slott isn't doing some backups work here. Kari Andrews is doing backup work here. Paco Medina, some pretty good stuff here and there. But like mentioned, I'm not looking forward to getting into this gang war, especially because it's going to bleed over into other books. Tying in all that, I read those 2 issues of the Batman that Kevin you reviewed a couple weeks back. I totally see where you're coming from. It's so annoying, especially because they even interrupted, the Zorana story of Batman and forced the gang or the whatever it is called, the Gotham War.
Yeah,
we got the Gotham War and the gang war going on. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in those Batman books. It's like, I'm obviously missing some things here. It's not
right.
It's not a smooth, story reading without the extra parts where, they could easily do it. So, that's not the case. But anyway, yeah, two get it's. I don't know, not strong get it's, but they were fine. I wouldn't not recommend them to anybody. But if you're not already invested in the She-Hulk book or the Spider-Man book, these two aren't going to put you on board, I don't think. Especially the Spider-Man book at a $10 cover price.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, who did you say the cover artist for that She-Hulk was again?
This is actually a variant. This is Rion Gonzalez. I went for this one there, and there's actually quite a few good variants for the number one. I didn't like Jen Bartel's A cover. Yeah, ending a long streak of covers by her that I really liked. I think I mentioned it was because She-Hulk was kind of up on a stage, and Spider-Man and the Thing and Wolverine were kind of like looking up, and I thought that they looked kind of weak.
Gotcha.
But I know Rion's art style isn't for everybody either, but I like her.
Yeah, I like it pretty much. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, like you said, if this is the most anime book,
yeah, kind of like manga,
or manga book that Marvel's doing, her art is perfect for the variant cover.
Yeah. All right, cool. Surprised me. I thought we were in store for maybe Forget It for that Spider-Man, but then you kind of turned it at the end there. But
yeah, parts of it that not fond of, but overall, I mean, if you took the Bachelorette section out of there, it's a much stronger Get It. But it was so corny and cliched.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I read. Speaking of corny and cliche, the outer space.
No.
So this is by Fabian Nicieza,
Co-creator of Deadpool.
Sorry, I'm messing that up. And Chris Batista. And this is from Apex Comics, which Apex was the Right Project too, right? Which you just reviewed. Was that 2 weeks ago, Pat, right?
I think you might be right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was actually bagged too. I don't like sealed, bagged when I picked it up.
Right Stuff was also.
Or Right Project, right?
Right Project, yeah.
Yeah. Why? Do you know?
I do not know.
I thought something would be in there, like like a trading card gimmick or something. But literally, you just open it up and it was just there. I'm like, what? They expect people to leave this in here for some ungodly reason? I don't know. It was odd, but anyway.
Now that I think of it, I think I know the answer to that question, Kevin.
Okay, what is it?
This and the Right Project were both Kickstarters, and they didn't have UPC labels on them anywhere. So the sticker, I imagine it was bagged with a sticker on the back that had a UPC label because that's the way the Right Project was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Gotcha. Okay. See, you're so smart, Pat. Jeez. Okay. Anyway, I got a couple other questions for you too that regarding this. So this is an action figure line. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
By Mel.
Yeah, I actually spotlighted this in one of our previous previews.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Mel.
It looked familiar. I thought somebody had focused on this.
Yeah, I think that's probably what brought it to my attention. I just forgot, but yeah. But Mel Burnkrantz is he's the action figure designer, right? Did I butcher? Sorry if I butcher your names, but anyway. So these are all action figures first, and now I think it was like 30 years ago, maybe longer than that the action figures, but they're updating them too. I think originally they were like stretchy, flexible kind of toys. Correct. But now they're actually making them action figures. And
yeah, they came out in the late 60s, and then about 10 years ago, the Four Horsemen started a new proper action figure line, and they got a lot of figures out, and it sort of tailed off. But then now they've done this comic tied to it.
Man, I love that kind of stuff too. That totally, that makes me more interested in this kind of stuff. We've talked about that with, crossing over toys with comics and cartoons and stuff like that too. Obviously I get it if they put something out and then they put action figures out after the cartoon makes it or whatever, but kind of either doing it the opposite direction or simultaneously. I'm totally in for that kind of stuff. That's fun. It makes it more interesting to me. And half of this book maybe not quite half, maybe the final third of this book is just one page showing the action figure designs of all of these action figures of the outer spacemen, you know. And this book is very simple. It's basically just an introductory book, like, and I mean that more literally than you could ever mean it in any introductory. Like, it literally just introduces all. I think there's 10 characters, and 9 of them are, each character is from a planet in our solar system. Like, there's a hero of Mars, and there's a hero of Venus, and there's a hero of Earth, and there's a hero of yada yada. Go through all the planets, right? And basically they're forming a team, the outer spacemen, to protect the galaxy. And then there's one mysterious guy, and that's why there's 10. There's one mysterious guy that they don't explain or cover in the book at all. It's kind of the cliffhanger at the end. And then there's, his name's Colonel. I'm blanking on his name right now. I should have probably wrote it down. But anyway, one character, it's like, who's this guy? And they kind of highlight him in the last page. And that's kind of, like I said, the cliffhanger to find out who this guy is at the end. But he's integral. He's an integral part of the outer spacemen as well, I guess. So like I said, I can't give this a get it or forget it, because there's no there. You know, it's like, I don't, you know, this literally really isn't, there's no story to tell here. Well, I guess I could say, you know, if you want this just to read a story, wait till issue 2. I'm sure in issue 2, when the story begins, they're going to be referencing where these different characters came from and stuff too, you know, so you probably don't even need issue 1, you know, and I'm going to get issue 2, but issue 1 was interesting for me because of the toy aspect. Cause like I said, the back third is just the prototype visuals of the action figures. And it kind of, it does give a brief backstory on each character as to how they became the hero of their planet, you know, so you know, it's fine. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm going to hold off on a review on this. You can see the art's kind of old school on the cover here, which actually was part of the attraction to me. You know, a new book that looks old school. You know, this looks like something you could have picked up in the, you know, 80s or 70s even, you know, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, the character designs, you know, they're of that era, so it's got that look, which I'm with you on it. I like it.
Yeah. So I mean, it was written fine, and you know, the dialogue's fine, and the backstories are fine. There's only one little thing that, you know, I didn't care for too much, but you know, overall it's a fine book. But if you're looking for a story, there's none here. So I'm definitely going to be grabbing issue 2. And I think you gave the Right Project a forget it too as well, right?
Yeah, I did. It's sort of stuck in that time period, you know, sort of trying to write a retro style. The art by Ron Frenz was good, but the story, I just wasn't digging it, by Tom DeFalco.
I think by looking at the creators attached to these books, I mean, it's, if you're wanting to support some of the old school guys that aren't getting the work at Marvel and DC anymore, you know, this is one way to do it. It's unfortunate that they're legends in the field, and you know, you got to go here to get their stories.
Yeah, it's kind of like legendary actors and actresses doing the B movies now and stuff like that. Yeah. But anyway, I enjoyed it, but I'm gonna hold off on recommending it to people or not until I read issue 2. So.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna look at this. So, yeah. Oh no.
What'd you say? If there is an issue 2?
Yeah. I mean, this was kickstarted probably like 5 years ago. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they finally put these out, and I don't think I saw solicitations for anything beyond issue 1, but I could be wrong about that.
I hope you're wrong. I want to see what these dudes are going to do.
I think they did too.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere along the line, like, okay, issue 1, we're just going to kind of do backstory. Issue 2, we'll get to it. And then they're like, okay, we can't get to issue 2.
Yeah, So it'll turn into a big forget it if that doesn't happen. But who knows how
Right.
long I'll wait. But anyway. All right, Mike. Hey, you're about time. You got 5 more minutes, or?
Yeah. Where are we? Yeah. What do we got? 5 minutes. I'll take 5 minutes.
All right, cool, Pat. Can I interrupt with what Kevin watched now?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
You
I got
have a 5 minute what Kevin watched?
No. I've got something that's going to take 5 minutes. Once what Kevin watched starts, that I want you to be involved in. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. And then the second half of what Kevin watched, me and Pat will just go off. I can't wait for that actually as well. So anyway, hoping the Pat's up on Loki. But no, I watched this, Mike. Meg 2, The Trench.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I watched this is free on Peacock.
Mhm.
So I figured I'd give it a go. I'm an action guy. Man.
I hope you're a ridiculous action guy.
Okay. Yeah. I am a ridiculous action guy, but I guess I'm glad you said that because, man, this movie is ridiculous.
It is.
And I'll tell you that my problem with it, okay, is the Meg wasn't that ridiculous. Meg kind of took it serious. You know what my biggest comparison for this is? Jaws. What? I mean, obviously with Jaws reference in general, but Jaws and Jaws 2 did the same thing. Jaws is this Academy Award winning spectacular film, and then Jaws 2 wants to be this made for TV, kind of crazy, ridiculous special, not quite up to par special effects type movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This did the same thing. Like I was expecting Meg type seriousness. So I guess that's the first thing I'll say about this movie. Well, you kind of started it with just saying ridiculous, is just this is not. This shouldn't be Meg 2. There should have been the Meg, and then this should have been shark, giant, Megalodon versus octopus, which I think is actually a movie. So they may have had to change that. But this just got so crazy, and I think I didn't enjoy it actually because
you didn't?
No, I didn't. I was expecting Meg.
Okay.
I was expecting more of it taking itself seriously. And to make matters worse too, for like the first third of the movie, it took itself pretty seriously. Yeah.
It's almost like 2 movies.
What's that, Mike?
It's almost like 2 movies.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes off the rails with ridiculous stuff. We got 3 Megs. We got a giant octopus. What else am I? Oh, we got radioactive alligator lizards or something. This just became crazy. But I will say this, Mike. I can tell that I didn't enjoy it because I was expecting that. If I would have watched this not thinking it was going to be like Meg, like expecting it just to be a ridiculous action thrill ride, I don't think it's a bad movie,
Right. Yeah.
If you know what you're expecting going into it. I mean, if you know what if you know what to expect going into it and you're prepared for that, and you're just looking for this senseless, goofy almost, maybe goofy isn't exactly right, because the special effects were still decent. Yeah. Like I said, it had a lot of it that was serious, but it just goes off the rail with ridiculousness as far as stunts and action choreography and just storyline in general too. It's like 1 second they're worried the sharks are gonna kill them, so they can't do this, but then 2 scenes later they're not only doing that, but they're doing it in a more difficult situation and surviving. And then Jason Statham, it's Jason, right?
Yeah.
He's just dealing with the Meg on his own on a jet. This poster's perfect for how ridiculous this is. He's like outrunning the Meg in a jet ski, and at the last minute when the Meg's coming into jump, he just takes a hard left, and it's just perfect timing. It just misses him, and then he stabs him in the nose with an explosive spear, and it blows half his brain off. And there's still two Megs, Pat, though, so don't let you. That's not comforting, you know. And then meantime, you know, Megs and giant octopuses are everywhere, but still people don't get out of the water. It was kind of like Jaws when they wouldn't get out of the water on the beach, you know. That was before Jaws attacked. And this one, like literally there's 3 Megs and a giant octopus, and there's still people in the water on the beach. It's like, what are you doing? You know, but
yeah. Well, I have to say this. You know,
okay.
I'm always a stickler for source material.
Right. Which I have a question about that. Okay.
Yeah, the first one the Meg didn't follow the source material. This doesn't either. This one actually, the beginning part where you liked that kind of follows the book a little bit.
Okay.
And then it goes off the rails.
Really? I thought
yeah.
what's his name was involved with these.
Well, he is, but he isn't.
What's his name again? The author?
Steve Alton.
Yes.
Now and so this is where I'm okay with them going off the rails because it's putting money in his pocket.
That's true.
He's you know, he's written all these books and it's just he's not, you know, rolling in dough. He has Parkinson's, so he's got a lot of health issues, and he's still writing. He's working on 2 books at the same time. So for that aspect, for the human factor, I love the fact that it's making money and stuff for him.
Fair.
The first book at the end, it's like a crazy shark circus like fest that this one ended at. I was reading going, this is so unbelievable, but it was so much fun that I just bought into it. And that's the way I just bought right into this. I'm like, okay, I'll go along for the crazy ride.
Okay.
I did. But the second book that this is supposed to be based on, it's really great. It's a very claustrophobic book. It takes place a lot underwater, and it's really, really good. So
okay.
They're both different, way different.
They definitely are. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to give the fun factor of Meg. I'll give it like 6 bags of popcorn. But as far as quality writing, dialogue, and story, I'm going to give this like 2 bags of popcorn. Yeah. I just didn't think this was good at all. If you're looking for quality here, you're not getting it here. If you're looking for a story, you ain't getting an Outer Spaceman. If you're looking for quality, you ain't getting a Meg 2.
Well, the effects are great, but
the effects are definitely interesting. Yeah, I agree.
It's just so unbelievable,
right?
That I can see where you're coming from, but I still love it.
All right, so it's still a good movie to Mike. It's not a recommend for me. Pat needs to watch it to fill the answers that our viewers have. Should I watch it? Should I not? Pat, get on it.
Okay,
it's free on Peacock. All right, Mike. That's what I wanted. I wanted you to be here for that. You got to check out though.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we got a birthday girl today, so.
Yep. Happy birthday to Cora, and have fun whatever y'all are doing.
Awesome. All right, boys. I'll listen to the rest of the show.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
All right, Pat. This probably isn't going to be much different with Mike here or not. That's why I wanted to get that Meg on while he was here. You watched the Loki finale.
I did. Oh, he's back.
No, Mike,
I had a thought before I left. This segment is not only what Kevin watched, it's what Mike didn't watch.
Right.
So that's it.
Oh, don't give me the idea of changing the name of the segment to that. I'll do it.
All right. I'll see you guys. Have a good rest of the show.
You too, man. See you later. Wait, you too, man. No, he's not doing a show. You remember that old joke, you know? Whenever the stewardess tells you, have a nice flight, and you're like, you do. Right. Whenever you're doing another flight someday.
Right.
All right, man. See you later.
Right.
Bye. All right, Pat. Oh, I meant to tell everybody, starting with you, Pat, of course. We've also lost Michael. We are. Yeah. He basically just checked out because he was texting me that he can't figure out why his mic isn't working, and without his mic working, how's he going to be on the show?
Yeah, that's not going to work out too well.
Yeah, which I just told him, I was like, we're having other problems anyway. Maybe it's best if you're on another show anyway. Because actually, one of the videos I couldn't upload, I actually got done with his what's going on with Pokemon intro. And that was one of the ones I wanted to upload. So kind of gives me another week to, he said he'll come back next week. So
okay. Yeah, his sign language was pretty good, but probably not good enough.
yeah. All right. Loki season finale. What was this? Is just episode 6, right?
Episode 6. We didn't even get to talk about 5.
Oh yeah, we didn't, did we? I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's kind of necessary to get to 6, kind of to understand 6, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot going on in this show, so it'll be hard to track back to episode 5, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is totally nuts. This is probably, before we even get into the details, I finally at the end here got into what this show has been like the entire season. If you remember my review, I guess, like you said, of episode 4 during the season 3 season finale for us, even though we talked about all the craziness and it seemed fun and everybody else in the room was like, this makes me want to watch it, I was just like, man, it's just so crazy. I can't. It's just, there's so much craziness. I always use the word convoluted. It almost was like too convoluted for me to really kind of appreciate. I feel like, okay, this is the way to put it. I feel like the writing was like borderline lazy in the way that they were just throwing stuff at the wall and see what stuck, rather than really kind of thinking it through to an endpoint. But especially with the finale's ending, made me appreciate retroactively what I had already watched even more. Do you feel that way at all?
Yeah, I'm glad you switched it up there at the end because I'm thinking they really had to put a lot of thought into this whole season 2 because everything, even connecting back to season 1, as a matter of fact, everything came back and popped up to try to make sense of the whole thing.
Yeah.
A lot of things, a lot of callbacks, and they would have really had to plan some things out to get this to work right.
Yeah, and then I think it did. So just to kind of try to recap and remember as much as we can, hopefully we can kind of feed off of each other here with episode 5. So we finished episode 4 with the entire MCU exploding, and what the heck are they going to do now?
Right.
But basically what we got in episode 5 was then Loki didn't explode, and he's time slipping kind of uncontrollably to miscellaneous points in time. They were all season 2 points in time, to each of the individuals that were in the room when the MCU exploded. And he's going to their actual timelines prior to the MCU explode. I keep saying MCU. I say that in jest a little bit. It's, it basically is, but it's just all of the branches of timelines, the variant branches of timelines there are. But Loki starts slipping into those timelines prior to the big timeline explode, the loom explosion or whatever, and visiting each one of them, Obi and Mobius, all prior. What did you feel like it was prior and different, or just completely different? Do you know what I mean? Like, so he was visiting Mobius when he was like living a normal life, just raising his kids and working a job as a salesman. Oh, the second jet ski reference in the show, selling jet skis. And of course, Mobius is just living this, again, quote unquote, normal life. So first question for you, Pat, do you feel like that Mobius in that timeline would eventually join the TVA, or this is a completely different timeline, and that if this Mobius was left alone, he would have just lived and died a normal life like he was living? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess you could see it either way. I guess basically he was visiting all the variants or all the characters before they got plucked out and assigned to the TVA.
Okay, so it's kind of, yeah, I see what you're saying by you could see it either way, right? Gotcha. Yeah. So he's basically got to convince these people he's from not only a different timeline, but also what they have to do to play their part to save the universe, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we got in episode 5. And of course, Obi, being the genius, he's the one that's fine with it, like right out the gate. Like Loki's telling Obi what happens, and then Obi's saying simple things like, what's the thing that they can travel in time? What's that device again?
Boy.
Okay. Anyway,
temp pad.
Huh?
Temp pad.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so he's talking about a temp pad, and Obi's like, well, sounds like you just need to build a temp pad. But this is like in a different universe where the technology is not even there, let alone Loki even knowing how to build it. So
yeah, we find out OB is basically a failed science fiction writer.
Right. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that, which is awesome. Yeah. For the first 5 or 10 minutes of them coming together, Loki's trying to tell him everything that's going on, and Obi's just trying to give him his book. He keeps interjecting his book. Speaking of that, this great book, because he's got he obviously ordered thousands of them to sell, and they're all like chilling in piles behind him. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
And then he, basically all the characters he's visiting, trying to convince them that they need to figure out how to save the universe. That's kind of episode 5 in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember specifically how it ended?
Just basically, I think Loki figuring out that he can control his time. Well, can he control his time slipping yet? I can't remember. But he basically can write how things go for himself.
Yeah.
I guess.
So then that takes us into episode 6, the finale. Like you said, Loki starts to control his time slipping. And so he can pick and choose where he wants to go. So then we have 2 very interesting things that happen. And I may be forgetting other stuff. So hopefully while I'm saying this, if you forget anything, you think of it. But I thought the 2 most interesting things were, one, we're doing a Groundhog Day thing where he keeps trying to do the same moment, which is when Kang basically turns into spaghetti, that event. He keeps trying to figure out how he can do that differently to where Kang doesn't die. And essentially he keeps going back like a couple seconds further just to do things quicker to make it work. And basically Kang dies 100 times. It's like, you're feeling for him at this point, which I thought was hilarious. And of course they played it off as hilarious. They made it a totally fun sequence like that. And I totally was laughing the whole time with that. And then I also thought another interesting thing, which wasn't focused on that much, but essentially behind the scenes, we couldn't possibly see this. So it was behind the scenes, and basically it was just a quick referenced moment, but we're supposed to understand it. And we did that. Loki goes back in time 100 years just to study and understand everything about physics.
Yep.
So basically, he gets back to the moment to where the loom explodes or implodes or whatever the heck it is. And he's a genius on the same level of Victor Timely and Obi to a point that he's saying what they're thinking before they say it. Which that was another funny moment too, is he starts saying things that since he's revisited these moments so many times, like Groundhog Day, he knows they're going to say, so he starts saying it just before they say it, and then they say it anyway, and then they have a confused face because they realize they just repeated what he said. That was pretty funny, Yeah. So, and excuse me, and then the epic ending, and I will say, we've pretty much just thrown any worrying about spoiler free out the window for a while now, but I'm going to say this right now. If you haven't seen the Loki finale yet, you don't want to be here for the next 10 minutes. I think the Loki finale is one of the bigger payoffs of any show in recent memory. This was huge. And I didn't see it coming. Did you see it coming, Pat?
I did not.
Yeah, so check out, come back in 10 minutes, please. But here we go. So Loki comes to the realization, as do the rest of the people in the room, that basically they accomplish what the mission they tried to, or they figured would work to save the universe, implementing Kang and going to shoot the device at the loom, which will stabilize, will basically make it flexible. So as the branches grow, it will grow, keeping it stable. Though that doesn't work. It still just blows up. So they come to the realization that they can't do anything. There's nothing they can do about it. So let's just throw in the towel and die, essentially. Whatever happens from this point. So let's just give up. And then in this moment of giving up, Loki realizes that, he's always talked about through the entire course of the MCU, his entire existence in the MCU. He's always talked about he's destined for the throne. He's destined to be the king, and he has this realization that what his being on a throne looks like at this point. And I think they did a really good job of visually bringing what I'm getting ready to describe into fruition. I hope you agree, Pat, that, so he just steps outside without the big crazy marshmallow man suit that Kang was wearing. He steps outside while the event is happening. Then the event happens, and basically all timelines start exploding and are kind of floating everywhere. Then he starts, and they're dying, right? The branches of the multiverse. Right. So he starts grabbing the branches of the multiverse, and I hope I'm understanding this properly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but then he starts using his power to give life to all the branches and hold them to stabilize them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as this is happening, which was such a cool effect, man, I thought my 15-year-old daughter was going to have a heart attack during this. His King Loki horns, the real big horns, start forming on his head. Not like the gold ones like you got in the Avengers or whatever, but and it's King Loki's the reference on that, right? With how big the horns are, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and they just form and they're doing it in slow-mo. It was cool. The soundtrack was awesome that was playing. The visual effects were sweet. Tom Hiddleston, right? I'm saying that right. Okay.
Yep.
He sold it too. I thought he portrayed it well. And then basically we end the season kind of essentially. This is kind of bittersweet for me too, because after this episode was over, I was like, man, they did it again. They didn't. They got rid of Iron Man in grand style, you know. They got rid of Captain America in grand style, you know. They kind of butchered Thor a little bit before, and he ain't quite gone yet. Who knows, what they're gonna do with him? But here's Loki now stuck, for lack of a way to, he's not. I guess he's making the choice to kind of maintain the multiverse on his own with his own power and abilities. And he's sitting at the end. And it was a beautiful image too, I thought. Just sitting on a throne at the end, holding all the branches, kind of maintaining them with his own power. And what is Ayla called it? He's the Loki of stories or King of stories or something like that. Are you familiar with that? That's what she kept saying. It seemed like it was something she read in a comic or something. But I guess that's, like I said, where he's quote unquote stuck now, right? For eternity, essentially.
You'd think so, yeah.
That's kind of the decision he made to basically, and I love too, again, I keep quoting Ayla. I love too when she just looked at me and she goes, "I'm so proud of him." Because we've always been conflicted over the years with Loki being her favorite. I'm like, he's a bad guy, you know. Then of course she turns Boba Fett on me, but that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, you know, I could appreciate how much Loki's likable, but essentially he's a liar and a trickster and a cheater, you know. But she's loved him not only for the character but the actor, but then also, but now she's like, I'm so proud of him, and I agreed. I'm proud of him. He basically is sacrificing himself to save everyone and give everyone the life that he visited them in at the beginning. And I thought that was a good bring around too. And and like you mentioned too, he actually goes back in time and talks to Mobius in their first meeting from episode 1 of season 1, right? And there was a lot of that. That wasn't the only one. There was a few of those. So yeah, like you said, this episode jumps from way back at the beginning of season 1 to the beginning of season 2 to the middle of everywhere and blah, 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 And there was a whole event too where he had to essentially decide whether he was going to kill Sylvie or not, which is obviously a interesting conundrum that, Sylvie's himself, whatever, however you want to go. Not to mention there's a weird relationship there too. He likes her anyway, and so yeah, this was extremely complex, but I think it was done so well. I bought into it hook, line, and sinker, and like I said, so much so it made me appreciate the previous. I want to watch season 2 again, essentially, and run it through. I might start it from season 1 and run it through because I feel like you said, they had to have planned this out so meticulously to end up where it was so correctly, in my opinion, that I feel like there's no way I couldn't have missed stuff. You know what I mean? So. What, speaking of missing stuff, did I miss mentioning anything else that you can think of?
Yeah, I can throw out a few things. It was interesting because this episode had the same episode title as the very first season 1 episode.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
what was
it sort of does that whole thing.
What was the name?
Glorious Purpose, which is what that was Loki's thing. His purpose was to sit on the throne.
Yeah.
So it all came, full circle back around. It was a really good, I think it was a really good, well thought out redemption story, sort of, Loki is, always thought he was this god above humans until he really got to interact with humans, much like Thor, that was sort of Thor's deal too. He thought he was high above, but once he started to empathize with the humans, it changed him. He became more humble. Loki was sort of the same way. He actually, that was sort of the deal with episode 5. He finally realized that the reason he wants to change all this is because he has friends now.
He cares about them. Yeah.
He cares about other people,
Right.
So I just thought it was a well thought out redemption story for Loki. I thought it was neat. The changing the loom. He sort of reconfigured it to Yggdrasil, the tree from Asgardian myth.
Oh, right. Yep.
Instead of sort of like branching out this way, now it's a tree where it has roots and the branches are coming out.
Yeah.
So very, very neat thing. I hate to say, the only one little nitpick is like, and you guess you have to you go along with it because he has been changed, but it's like Loki, the god of lies, is now controlling all time.
Right.
So you sort of have that conundrum. That's possibly a plot thread they can pick up from. Can he hold it together and stay true to, his newfound, purpose and goodness,
right,
and continue to manage the timeline,
right,
in a positive manner. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I agree with a lot of the things you said there. It was just well done. The effects and the way they portrayed him taking over the timeline was just really cool.
Yeah.
There was the Groundhog Day thing, which we've seen it done a million times.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that it wasn't just repeating one scene over and over again. He would figure out one thing, but then that wasn't going to work, so he had to jump back to another era and go through the same thing there until, and it goes to his redemption story. he basically sacrificed, centuries of his life
Yeah.
to do certain aspects of what he needed to do to get done and to change. So yeah, I have no complaints, and I think it was a really, if it ends here, I'm satisfied the way they wrap things up.
Yeah, I concur with all that, definitely. And I don't know whether you ever experienced it or not, but I don't know exactly why it's probably because of the haters, and because I do have issues with the current phase of Marvel in general. That I feel a resistance for some reason to try to like something for whatever, name the reason. There's multiples to choose from. But yeah, and that's why I think this one is even more spectacular, because it just pushed through that, So,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, don't give things a chance on your own. Like, for instance, I didn't dig the Ms. Marvel show, and I bailed on it. It's not for me. So you don't have to go and say, tear it down and say it was so horrible. Just you don't like it, you're not going to watch it.
Yeah, just move on.
Move on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example, because Ayla loves that. I still haven't even given a shot, but yeah, this is, I wasn't expecting, and this is totally, that's what else is kind of ironic about the way I felt about this up to this point too. This is totally up my alley. Obviously sci-fi is, I've kind of conceded at this point in my life, sci-fi is actually bigger than superheroes for me now. And yeah, it doesn't get much more sci-fi anywhere than this show did, so it was great. So, all right. Yeah.
Well, speaking of, the future and the MCU, there was a little tag at the end where we're kind of seeing where people were left off, and they show Ravonna, and they don't show you who, but you can make a pretty good guess because she's bathed in purple light. So you would assume that some version of Kang came along and plucked Ravonna out at the end. Where, I wasn't like, you can throw your 2 cents in here. She seemed to be in the land where Loki and Sylvie actually tracked down.
It's the end of time. The end
okay. That makes sense, because they did say that, right? They're going to boot her at the end of time.
Yeah.
But she was on. They made it seem like she was actually where the TVA once stood, because she uncovered the little logo at the end there. But that was confusing for me. Do you think okay, so obviously you just said it. So you're taking uncovering that logo as where it once stood. I took that as, which I guess you'd have to, but I took it as that's where they're going to build the new TVA. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But
yeah,
I think, they've, I think one of the Avengers movies is the Kang Dynasty. So you kind of put 2 and 2 together in a logical conclusion that, a version of Kang survived, and that's who was rescuing Ravonna there. And they actually gave a shout out. I think Valerie even mentioned this. It's so confusing because, the comic universe was the 616, and that seems like the MCU kind of, took that over, where they were calling themselves the 616, and they mentioned, when they reconfigured the TVA under Loki, Mobius mentioned that they had a little bit of a flare up on 616, and I'm assuming that was referencing the Kang from Quantum Mania, the Ant-Man movie. But
yeah, I can't track with that kind of thing at all, so I don't know. So, but definitely a big, I give, quality and enjoyment. I guess I'm going to give it a 10. I don't usually like to go with 10s unless I got a full package, which I can't exactly say what isn't a full package here, but I do feel like if I really wanted to pick it apart, I could. Not a lot, but enough to make it a 10, not a 10. So I'm just going to play it safe and go with a 9. 9 story for season 2, and let's retroactively improve season 1. I can't remember what the overall I gave it there, but at least bump that up 1 or 2. Ayla's in the room now. She's like giving me thumbs up on that. Yeah. So, and then as far as quality, production, acting, writing, blah, 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 10 as well. So anyway, check it out, Loki. And that's actually all I had. I figured we'd be talking about this for a long time. And then with Pokemon being on today's show, now that's not happening. So, with the way the show has just kind of deteriorated, it might be better that it's shorter than pre-planned anyway. So
Yeah.
I know you're probably gonna have the most amazing segment of this show, though. How's that? Is that too much pressure?
No.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. I should probably eat some crow real quick too. I think we teased preview. Ironically enough, I just realized this. I think we didn't tease every preview we've ever done before, to where when we got started the preview, I commented about how we didn't tease it. I think we finally teased the preview for today. But I totally failed on managing a preview, so we decided to move that to next episode too. So
yeah, it's okay. It's plenty of time to get your orders in once you see the new stuff that's coming.
Yeah,
in the preview. So
yeah. Even when we do it next week, you'll still have a good week to get your orders in. So
I wait till like the end, even the first of the next month to get my order in sometimes. So
do you?
Yes, I'm always
Do they start sending you the harassing emails? I shouldn't call it harassing. It's not that serious, but for lack of a better way to describe it, the prompting emails they start sending me on like the 21st, and it gets me all nervous. So I usually order the 22nd or 23rd.
Yeah. I usually end up with two of them. We notice you still haven't got your order in yet. Might want to do that.
Yeah. All right, what do you got for the Horizon today?
All right. Well, we talked about, a lot of this stuff at the get together, and we mentioned some of these things. We're going to revisit them just because we kind of had some loose ends. This is still the shot I used in the last show we did, where 3 days in, the Ghostbusters HasLab was already halfway point. So just to update everybody. There's still 30 days to go, and they needed 10,000 orders to meet their target, and they're already at 13,496. So, Ghostbusters fans out there, apparently, no problems.
That is crazy, and I feel like, and I'm probably wrong here, so you might be able to correct me specifically, but I feel like it was like 3 days after our get together, it was fully funded. It was like so fast,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, it was very quick.
That's awesome, though. And I
Yeah.
actually shared in the group the new Ghostbusters movie. I didn't even know it was coming out. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I knew that was coming out. I think I always thought it was going to be called Firehouse for some reason. I think maybe that was just a temporary placeholder. So I was kind of surprised to see, when it was finally posted, the theme behind it, sort of like an ice. I forget what's it called again.
I'm totally blanking right now as well, but yeah, I shared it in just our personal group. I should have shared it on XcellarComics main page, but yeah, it definitely looked cool. I watched the whole trailer. It looked cool.
Yeah.
All
like
the
I
same
said,
returning cast. I don't know whether that helped get this funded or not, but maybe.
I was just gonna say, I think again, it's just because of all the Ghostbusters cosplayers out there.
Yeah.
This is just a real, something like this, is sort of hard to put together on the fly, just to fabricate on your own. So if Hasbro's gonna put one together that's of decent quality, it's just an extra shortcut for those people out there to get some extra equipment to haul around as they do their cosplay thing.
Yeah, probably cheaper than you could do yourself if you wanted to do it well anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't recall if there's stretch goals or what the stretch goals are here, but with over a month to go, they're probably going to hit anything that they want to hit there.
Yeah.
No issues. something else remember I had to stop the press with the Horizon on that our get together show was the Batman and Robin figures from McFarlane, and sure enough, they've been put up for solicitation.
Oh man.
So basically we have, Batman here. We have Robin, all the usual suspects. We have Batgirl. And
Interesting. They've kind of matted the colors out on them, though. That's not, as flashy as the movie was. Robin isn't too bad, but Batman and Batgirl are both matte black. There's like no colors on them.
Yeah. And there's Poison Ivy.
Oh man.
And
I want all these. Take them.
And if you're paying attention in the packaging, you could probably suss out that the Build-A-Figure is Mr. Freeze.
Oh man, that looks so good. Love it. What do you think? You like them? No? Separate yourself from the movie and just appreciate the action figures.
I think they're McFarlane figures. I what to say.
I want all of them. This is probably going to be the first time I get an entire Build-A-Figure together on my own.
Yeah.
But don't you see what I'm saying? That's the only thing, especially with Batman, it stands out with me the most that he's not flashy at all,
I'll defer to the Batman and Robin expert here because I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it seemed very flashy. The way I'm remembering it, I'm 99% sure, yeah. Wonder why they did that. To make it look more serious, like to have people take it more seriously. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's cool. I'm gonna grab them all. I'm gonna.
Yeah. We'll go over to Hasbro now.
Are those out now? Did you say? I'm sorry.
They're up for pre-order.
Okay.
Usually McFarlane has a pretty quick turnaround, so I'd say probably the first of the year.
Okay.
We'll go to Hasbro. Just one little G.I. Joe item. This is Mutt in Junkyard. This is going to be $45. It's sort of a deluxe figure because it comes with the dog there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty neat. I like the dog. Two different swap out heads for him.
Ah, that's cool. An angry and a playful one. Nice.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a diorama action shot.
That's cool.
They look pretty good.
I've almost grabbed, and I think you highlighted on the Horizon when it first was out, the Snake Eyes with the wolf.
I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah, I keep seeing him in Target, man. I think both times.
Go on clearance.
What's that?
Go on clearance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a good thing that I didn't have enough money in my pocket at the moment I saw them because I probably would have grabbed them because they're cool too, But, man. Nice.
Stick with Hasbro, move to Star Wars. This literally was like hours after our show. Tyler brought this to my attention, so we'll just spotlight it here. 2 Black Series figures. We have Episode 1, Anakin.
Oh, man.
There he is, sort of in his wasn't the Anakin Tyler was hoping for.
Yeah. He got another Anakin, but not the one he wanted. Yeah.
Right. And this is the weird one that that I see a lot of people not liking this, including myself and Tyler. We don't get the face on this Padme figure.
Oh man, what?
Here's a little better. Her face looks like pinched or something. It looks like she's like, I don't know. I can't even explain. It just looks weird.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly. Actually, I think I saw like a short meme video about this action figure. Actually, now I come think of it, where they were mocking the people that they were complaining about this face as if she doesn't ever squint and have this face before, and they had it beside 3 other pictures from the movie where she's totally got that kind of face, But it is right. It's something off still. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they've got time. Even we kind of. I think Tyler was on the episode where they revealed Shin Hati from Ahsoka, and a lot of people weren't digging that. But since I've seen some more further along in the production process photos of her, and she looks better.
Okay.
I'm not saying she's perfect, but she looks a lot better than those initial shots we were shown months ago. So the same thing could happen to Padme here.
I think her hairline too. That's too far back, right? I mean, especially in that shot you got of it, looks like she's like really bald. That one doesn't look so bad, but the other picture it looks like she's almost bald. But anyway,
I hear you. We'll shrink down to 3 3/4 for a few vintage reveals. We had a Phase 1 clone trooper, which I can't even keep up with. I don't know which clones have been released. I feel like this has been done, but who knows? But this is the Phase 1 clone trooper.
Nice.
We also have Finn, and we have Count Dooku.
Nice. Oh man, you are totally highlighting the movies that I am an outlier on, and I'm gonna add Tyler in Attack of the Clones. Like, well, Revenge of the Sith is his favorite prequel, but Attack of the Clones is my favorite prequel.
Okay.
And I love it. Like I just, I talk about how much I love Batman and Robins with disclaimers about, you
Right.
gotta be in that frame of mind, kind of, I compare it to the way Batman 66 kind of campiness is as to how I appreciate Batman and Robin. But I just love Attack of the Clones. I think it's a great movie. And I feel like me and Tyler loves it too, are completely on the outside. No one in the universe agrees with us. But so you highlighting, man, both of these groups in this one episode's ironic,
Yeah.
Love it.
So if you don't have enough Star Wars to collect, Hasbro's been doing their Epic Heroes lines for Marvel, and now that's bleeding over into Star Wars. So these are not 3 3/4 inch; these are 4-inch figures. So you just wanted the 1/4 inch taller action figure. This will be the line for you. I don't know. It seems like they're cannibalizing their own product because they're so close to the vintage line these days. They're more simplified, not as many points of articulation, but they're still pretty well done, at least as far as the Marvel stuff they put out so far. And these look sort of similar. We had 2 group shots here. The group A shot with Grogu, Sabine, Paz Vizsla, and why do we still call him the Mandalorian on the packaging?
Yeah, interesting.
And then we have Darth Vader, Luke, Ahsoka, and a Stormtrooper. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw these. I was a little confused at first, but then further investigation and the packaging is my biggest complaint I get. I'm not really complaining though, because it's fine. It's just I'm not feeling the packaging that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of dig the figures in the way that they're kind of more like the OG figures, right? With
yes,
with less articulation and stuff,
right?
So, yeah, which I think is cool. So it's kind of like new, not retro, but like retro. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's the thing, though, Kevin, because quit putting out the retro figures under.
Gotcha.
It's like, how many different lines do we need? Apparently, we need a lot because they just keep pumping out more. But the idea behind the Epic Heroes line is sort of aimed at the younger audience. It's a cheaper price point. Your vintage series that we showed here. The retail on these are $16.99 these days.
Jeez.
Whereas I should have done a little bit more research. I think these are either $9.99 or $12.99 or $11.99 retail, which is still, that's a lot of money for a little 4-inch action figure. But
yeah,
that's the idea behind it. The Epic Heroes line is a more affordable, child targeted line versus the more collector vintage line, or the old Marvel Universe line, or what have you. So I don't know. We'll see how long these guys survive.
I'm assuming since the other ones you showed had the helmets off, these helmets probably don't come off of these, huh?
I would assume that is a correct guess. Yeah.
Because that is so cool when the helmet can come off, though.
Yeah. That's just that would play into the
making
cheaper
it cheaper
price point. Yeah. I owe this next one to Mike. He left the show. I guess he didn't want to stick around for the Horizon, but I put this in here because he spotlighted this. This is by Mondo. This is from The Thing. This is the McReady 1/6 action figure. He will cost you $265. He's a 12-inch action figure with cloth goods. He unfortunately, it's too late because pre-orders closed yesterday.
Oh,
But I wanted to show him because Mike, brought him up. There he is with all his accessories.
he's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And I will say this is neat, but I'll tell you this: go check out probably right now at Target. You can find the NECA figure for RJ McReady. $35, and it's really well done too. I'd say the equal in as far as head sculpts go. I think this is pretty good, but the little 6-inch figure from NECA is really well done too. So if you're on a budget, I don't think you can go wrong picking up the NECA figure if you're a big fan of the Thing, John Carpenter.
Awesome.
And the last thing I have on the horizon this week is a little early because they haven't really put this up for pre-order and really haven't announced all the details. This is another thing by Tweeter, another statue product by Tweeterhead. We showed the Two-Face statue last time, and this is a new in their line of busts. This is the Superman bust. This is a 1/3 scale bust, 19 inches tall, and a relatively affordable, quote unquote affordable, $300. This is a big bust at 18 inches tall.
Yeah.
And I think it's really well done. It's a very classic Superman.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And they promised that they actually have shown some production sketches of Firestorm and Clayface, and they teased in the background here. If you can see the sort of the silhouette in the background, it looks like Doomsday to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, pricey at $300, but compared to all the other statues out these days, for a 19-inch tall bust, $300. Call me crazy, but that seems a little reasonable to me.
Right.
The cost of statues these days. So
yeah,
I just think, sorry, I keep tripping over you. But I just think Tweeterhead is doing some really good product these days, and this seems to be no different. A really nice design and sculpt work going into this bust.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on the crazy train with you too, calling 300 reasonable too, because that reminds me back in the day when I was a big statue collector. That was about the price point out they were at, like 325, something like that. So yeah, this is for this size. Yeah, that's
awesome. And once they get into you get your heavy hitters out there, your Superman and Batman, and see how they look all together. And then you regret passing the Superman because he's on the secondary market at probably $500, $600.
Right. And I think it's interesting too how this is about. And again, I've been out of collecting any statues or something for so long. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this is unique in the way that I've never seen it to where this is technically more than a bust too, because it kind of cuts down into his leg a little bit. That's kind of cool. Have you seen that before in statues?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen it before. Traditionally, a bust is not, doesn't even include the arms in a traditional bust.
Oh, okay.
They put it,
but it's just weight stuff with no arms. Yeah,
exactly. But that was all thrown out the door. They started out on arms, and this even goes down even further. So
yeah, and then it's got, and he's acting, and that's not even his base, and then it's got a cool base on the bottom. So yeah, that's cool.
Sure,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a back shot of him? No.
No, these are the only two photos they've shown so far.
Okay. Because that cape seems like it'd be cool too. I'd like to see how that looks from behind too,
Yeah. Yep. Can't tell from that one.
Yeah.
That's about all we're gonna get. But like I said, they said it's gonna be up for pre-order soon. If probably by the next show it should be out, and I'll try to remember to include an updated pic.
Cool. Very cool.
That's it. There was, it's crazy because when the live show we had just a ton. We talked about the floodgates being open, and it's been 2 weeks we really haven't had much. And a lot of it here too is sort of some house cleaning, picking up on things we even mentioned back on that show. So, we'll see what the weeks to come hold. We're gearing up to that Christmas season. And I think, there's probably not going to be, things kind of slow down a little bit. So, but we'll keep an eye out and see what's on the horizon for the rest of the year.
All right, got it. Man, I don't know about all the people watching, but yeah, this episode is definitely rough on me as far as wants versus what I can afford. Man, yeah. I'm gonna get all those Batman and Robin. I gotta make that. I'm gonna have to put that on my Christmas list for Santa, I guess. Maybe that's where I'll go with that. It's the only way I'm gonna be able to afford all of those anytime soon, and I want them. I mean, I have to. I'm the Batman and Robin guy. I have to have all these, and I'll start having them. This one I'm gonna do. Fans of the show, stay tuned in the future. My backdrop will be that Batman and Robin set on my shelves behind me. It's coming.
Nice.
Hopefully I didn't set myself up for failure there. But that was still awesome, Pat. That was great stuff. That's great stuff. Yeah. I called it, though. That's been the smoothest segment of the entire show today. So great job. I was actually thinking during the last train wreck thing that happened that maybe we should make this the episode 42.3 and then start season 4, episode 1. But maybe season 4, episode 1 will go down in the books as one of the greatest shows ever. Who knows?
Yeah,
you never
know.
can tell. So, all right, let's see if we can wrap this up though. All right. True to form, I literally still had what Kevin watched up during the whole horizon. Sorry about that. It's perfect. It was perfect. I did it
when you were watching it.
That's true. That is true. That's true. All right, we got.
Oh boy. Thanks for Michael dropping in for 5 seconds, and we'll still look forward next week to what's going on with Pokemon.
Yes, thanks, Michael. Yeah, if you're watching Meg 2 because you liked Meg 1, you're making a mistake. Don't do it.
Loki season 2 really stuck the landing for season 1 and 2.
Totally concur with that one. And stay tuned for if Outer Spacemen ever comes back along in the future to see if you need Outer Spacemen 1 or not.
Here's another. I see a comment here. We'll throw this out for the wrap up.
Okay, my wife is commenting the season finale has caused major emotions in our house from our resident Loki fanatic. Yep.
Nice. She probably feels a little redeemed herself.
She does. Exactly. Yep. I swear, I'm telling you, man. I can't express to you the emotion that I felt. Obviously, she's my daughter too, but just in general, even if she wasn't my daughter, the way she looked back at me, I'm not sure whether she did it, but I felt like she had tears in her eyes. Like her eyes were walled up, My eyes are getting a little welled up thinking about her face right now. When she looked back at me, she goes, "I'm so proud of him." It was like such a moment, man. I was already feeling the emotion of the show, and then her doing that to me. So yeah.
Good for her. She's not cynical and sees the good in everyone, I guess.
Yeah. She was right. I guess that's what I need to be hoping for Boba Fett in the future, for him to have this redeeming moment right before he exits stage left. I don't know. Which he kind of did in the show. If you don't recommend it, though, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But and then also, if you're a fan of Batman and Robin like I am, you're about to be redeemed with a perfect line to go on your bookshelf there.
Oh boy, I don't really have much else, but Amazing Spider-Man is expensive as always.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's that's why I exited. Do you consider dropping it because of how many there are and how expensive they're getting? Me and Mike talked about that a lot, but you really haven't said anything.
Yeah, I need to get caught up a little bit more. When we talk about dropping books, there's a reason I didn't review Fantastic Four number 11 this week.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy.
You finally pulled that trigger, huh?
Not yet, but I see. Okay, so quickly.
Okay.
We got the new previews, okay?
Uh-huh.
And there's 2 issues of the Fantastic Four solicited in the new Marvel previews. And, like I said, I'm kind of looking excited. Things are going to finally come to the point where of the long promised storyline where the Baxter building's going to return from the future. They're going to get caught up. Things are going to align. The kids are going to be back. And I've seen the solicitations for 2 issues of the Fantastic Four in the latest previews. And they both fall into that category I talked about where they could be rejected Twilight Zone plots. I'm just like, oh my gosh, really more of this stuff? So, yeah.
It seems like we've talked about in the group the Fantastic Four a lot more in general for some reason too. But the action figures, and then there was there a statue too or something? Or was that just artwork or something?
Yeah, it was an homage to Fantastic Four number 1 that Mike posted.
Oh, right. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, they said, hopefully they'll really pay off once the Fantastic Four joins the MCU. Oh, did you see about the spoiler in Marvels?
No, don't say anything.
I won't. I was just wondering. Yeah. I won't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
One more wrap up before I forget.
Sure.
Pick 3 is not obviously as easy as it seems because.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes. Oh, and I'm going to add one on to that too. Mike likes to pull the rug out of your number 1 pick when you do submit to pick 3.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just joking, Mike. Just joking. All right, let's close this out. Please like and comment your thoughts, questions, and suggestions on this video, as well as subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. Please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers to be able to listen to the edited podcast of this amazingly smooth, professional episode, amongst others. That'll be up no later than Tuesday for you to enjoy. And then follow XcellarComics on Facebook, Instagram, and or X, aka Twitter, and follow Exceller_comics on TikTok and whatnot. Watch our Whatnot shows on the Whatnot app. You can bookmark. I've got a show set up for today. I've been saying for the last few shows that I'm going to do another show when I get ridiculous deals. When I can offer a bunch of ridiculous deals, and when I mean ridiculous, basically dollar buys that people actually want, or when I get 10 bookmarks. But since I was out of state, I forgot to move it forward. So I had 7 bookmarks and I kind of rebooted. Now I'm back down to 1 bookmark. So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to do a show within the next week. I can't say exactly when it is. I want to prepare for it because I've decided to bring the mystery short box back because that was a lot of fun for me. Even when books weren't selling, I'd get an occasional, big sale here and there because the way my mystery short box works is I will have a big book that the high bidder of the mystery short box will automatically get. The last one was the first appearance of Carnage, 3-book Amazing Spider-Man run. And I think that eventually went for like $110 for all 3 of them. So it's usually a great deal for the buyer and a good selling point for me. So I'm making one of those again. So it will not be waiting for 10 bookmarks. Will not be waiting for ridiculous deal, which I always have ridiculous deals in general, but I mean specifically that won't be a focal point. I am getting I'm currently in the process of putting a new mystery short box, a great one, together, and so I will definitely have at least one Whatnot show this week. So bookmark that show that I've got scheduled for tonight. So when I move it, you'll still be notified when that's going to start. Then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Exceller_comics and on our website, XcellarComics.com. And you can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. We'd really appreciate that. And then you can watch a pre-recorded episode of Cover Combat 6. It says round 4 on the scroll. Don't pay attention to that. It's the reveal of semifinal matchups and the finals, or semifinal winners and the finals matchup will be posted. I've got November 6th on there. It'll be November 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And lastly, watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook next Saturday, November 18th, 9:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. Literally every one of my banners is wrong because Karen's not here and I forgot to do it myself, but a perfect way to end an epic train wreck of an episode. So,
Indeed.
it's been a lot of fun. The not only the episode's been kind of a wreck throughout, but we've literally lost people as the show's going along. So it's just down to me and you. So thanks for surviving the whole way for me as well.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, I don't.
Okay. Appreciate everyone stopping by. Appreciate comments. And until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome. Reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Exceller out.